Imagine owning a piece of horological heaven, a watch so legendary, it's a part of the Holy Trinity. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, pinch yourself because that dream might become a reality. We're diving headfirst into the biggest opportunity in the luxury watch world right now. Picture this: Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, and Vacheron Constantin, the Holy Trinity of watches. Usually these beauties are about as attainable as a unicorn riding a rainbow. But folks, the tides are turning. Why? How? When? We're getting into all of that juicy stuff, so silence your phone, unless you're watching on it, of course, and get ready to dive into a fantastic opportunity. Let's get into it. All right, let's take a look at this fascinating chart. It's a snapshot of the luxury watch world, and it does tell quite the story. First off, we've got Patek Philippe sitting pretty at the top. Their watches are holding onto value like a champ with a 27.7 retention rate, not too shabby at all. Then there's Audemars Piguet, still in the green, but not quite as rosy, holding on to a 10% of its value. But here's where things get really interesting. Vacheron Constantin, the third member of our Holy Trinity, is showing a minus 30% value retention. That's right, it's in the red. Now, before anyone starts panicking, let's think about what this means. Vacheron Constantin, a brand with centuries of history and impeccable craftsmanship, is currently the only Holy Trinity brand that's losing value in the secondary market. For watch collectors and enthusiasts, this spells opportunity with a capital O. It's not often you get a chance to pick up a piece from the Holy Trinity at below retail prices. This could be your moment to add a Vacheron to your collection without breaking the bank. However, we need to approach this with a bit of caution. These numbers suggest there might be some underlying issues with Vacheron's market positioning or marketing strategy. We're not going to dive deep into that today, but it's something to keep in mind. If you are interested in a more detailed analysis of these potential marketing challenges, let me know in the comments. We can explore this in a future video. For now, though, let's focus on what this means for you, the potential buyer. It's a rare chance to own a piece of horological history at a more accessible price point. Just remember, watches should be bought because you love them, not as investments. But if you've been eyeing that Vacheron, well, the time might be right. Before we dive into these numbers, it's important to note that this data comes from watch charts and their data on production models. This means we're looking at regular non-limited edition pieces that are part of Vacheron's standard lineup. Now, let's take a closer look at this eye-opening pie chart for Vacheron. What we're seeing here is nothing short of astonishing. A whopping 98% of Vacheron Constantin's watches are being sold at a discount in the secondary market. That's right, almost 98 out of every 100 Vacheron watches are changing hands for less than the retail value. This explains the negative value retention we saw earlier. It's not only a few models striking down the average, it's nearly the entire lineup. Now, a tiny sliver, 2.2% to be precise, of Vacheron watches are selling at a premium. Interestingly, we can pinpoint exactly what's in that slim 2% slice. It's the overseas self-winding reference number 4520. This particular overseas is the lone wolf in Vacheron's current lineup, selling above retail price. With a retail price of $25K, it's fetching $28,000 in the secondary market. That's a premium of about $3,380. It's quite literally the exception that proves the rule in Vacheron's current market situation. This data paints a clear picture of why Vacheron's overall value retention is so low. When such an overwhelming majority of watches are selling below retail, with only one model bucking the trend, it significantly impacts the brand's market performance, obviously. It's worth noting that this situation raises questions about Vacheron's pricing strategy and market positioning. It's unusual to see a luxury brand of this caliber struggling to maintain its value to such an extent. Looking at this chart of luxury watch brand annual production, we can see some rather interesting figures. Patek Philippe leads the pack with 50,000 watches produced annually. Audemars Piguet follows with 40,000 watches. And here's the kicker. Vacheron Constantin produces only 23,000 watches per year. Now, this is quite revealing. Vacheron Constantin, despite its struggles in the secondary market, actually has the lowest production numbers among the Holy Trinity brands. This is a crucial piece of the puzzle. What this tells us is that overproduction isn't the culprit behind Vacheron's lower market prices. In fact, VC is producing significant fewer watches than its Holy Trinity counterparts. It's making less than half of Patek Philippe's output and almost half of Audemars Piguet's. This scarcity should, in theory, drive up demand and prices. But as we've seen from our previous data, that's not happening for most of Vacheron's models. So it's not overproduction. What could be causing these low market prices? There are several possibilities we might consider. Vacheron isn't resonating strongly with current watch enthusiasts. There might be issues with how Vacheron is positioning or promoting its watches. The current lineup might not be hitting the right notes with collectors. Initial retail prices might be set too high relative to perceived value. Or Vacheron might be caught in a tricky spot between ultra high-end and slightly more accessible luxury. What's clear is that the issue is more complex than simply supply and demand. Vacheron Constantin is facing challenges that go beyond production numbers. For potential buyers, this reinforces the unique opportunity we discussed earlier. You have the chance to acquire watches from a storied brand with relatively low production numbers, often at below retail prices. Now, let's take a closer look at this intriguing chart that breaks down the discounts by watch materials. It's giving us some fascinating insights into how different materials affect the resale value of Vacheron Constantin. First off, we see that gold watches are taking the biggest hit in the secondary market with an average discount of 41%. That is a substantial markdown from what many consider the quintessential luxury watch material. Moving on to platinum, we see a slightly better picture, but not by much. Platinum watches are selling at an average discount of 31%. That's nearly a third off the retail price, which is still quite significant for such a precious metal. And here's where it gets interesting. Steel watches, often considered the more accessible option in luxury prices, are showing a discount of 31%. What's striking about this data is that the difference in discounts across materials isn't as dramatic as we might expect. Whether it's gold, platinum, or steel, Vacheron Constantin watches are all facing substantial discounts in the secondary market. This tells us that the material isn't the main factor driving the discounts we're seeing. The fact that steel watches are discounted almost as much as platinum suggests that there are other forces at play here. It could be that collectors are valuing other aspects of the watches more than the material from which they're made. Perhaps it's about specific models, complications, overall design, rather than whether a watch is gold, platinum, or steel. For potential buyers, this means that the opportunity to acquire a Vacheron at a discount extends across all materials. Whether you prefer the heft of gold, the rarity of platinum, or the practicality of steel, you're likely to find significant discounts in the current market. Let's take a look at this chart, breaking down Vacheron Constantin's discount by watch complication. What we're seeing here is quite surprising and frankly goes against many of our assumptions about high-end watchmaking. The most striking thing about this data is the range of discounts we're seeing. At the top end, we're seeing perpetual calendars being discounted by a whopping 42%. That's more than half off the retail price for one of horologe's most prestigious complications. On the other end of the spectrum, we see date complications with the lowest discount at 23%, which is still significant. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Conventional wisdom in the watch world says that the more complicated the watch, the more valuable it should be. After all, these intricate mechanisms represent the pinnacle of watchmaking and artistry. But what we're seeing here turns that idea on its head. Generally speaking, the more complex the complication, the higher the discount. Perpetual calendars, retrograde displays, and moon phases, all considered high horology, are facing steeper discounts than simpler watches. Even the revered tourbillon isn't immune, showing a discount of over 31%. This trend is rather shocking. It suggests that, at least for Vacheron, the market is placing less value on these complex mechanisms than the brand itself does. It's a stark reminder that technical prowess doesn't always translate directly to market desirability. Some of horology's most sophisticated complications are available at substantial discounts. But for Vacheron Constantin, it raises some challenging questions about their pricing strategy and how they're positioning these high complication pieces in the market. Let's dive into this revealing table that breaks down Vacheron Constantin's top 5 model series. What we're seeing here adds yet another layer to our understanding of the brand's current market position. First, it's important to note that all of these models are selling at a discount in the secondary market. The Traditionnel series, despite having the highest average market price at $29,000, is facing the steepest discount of $13,000. That's a significant drop. Close behind is the Patrimony series with a discount of $13,000, despite having a lower average market price of almost $19,000. The Historique and Overseas series, both considered cornerstone collections for Vacheron, are showing discounts of over $11,000 each. This is particularly interesting for the Overseas, which we previously noted had one model selling at a premium. It seems that one model is an exception rather than the rule of the series. The 56 series, while still discounted, seems to be holding on to its value slightly better with the lowest discount of $8,700. However, it's also the least expensive series on average, so the percentage discount might still be substantial. What's striking here is the consistency of discounts across different model lines. Whether it's the classically styled Traditionnel or the more modern Overseas, all are facing similar challenges in the secondary market. This data suggests that Vacheron Constantin's pricing issues aren't limited to a single collection or style of watches. It's a brand-wide phenomenon affecting everything from their most traditional pieces to their sports watches. Look at this table. We can see a detailed breakdown of various Overseas models, their specifications, and most importantly, their pricing trends. And while there's a lot to unpack here, first, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the unicorn in the watch box. The Overseas self-winding model, the reference 4520V, is the only watch in this lineup selling at a premium, as we noted previously. It's commanding $3,380 over its retail price. This is the exception we mentioned earlier, and it's fascinating to see it in context with the other Overseas models. Now, for the rest of the lineup, we're seeing some significant discounts. The most dramatic is the Overseas Tourbillon stainless steel. Despite its hefty retail price of $129,000, it's selling for about $89,000 in the secondary market, a discount of $40,000. That's nearly a third off the retail price for a Tourbillon. Even the more accessible models are seeing substantial discounts. The Overseas chronograph in pink gold, for instance, is selling at a discount of $12,000. The Overseas date in pink gold is selling for $9,000 less than retail. What's particularly interesting is that even the steel models, which are typically in high demand for sports watches, are selling at discounts. The Overseas small models in stainless steel are both selling for over $6,000 less than their retail prices. This data really drives home the point we've been making about Vacheron Constantin's current market position. Even within their popular Overseas line, which includes that one model selling at a premium, we're seeing significant discounts across the board. For potential buyers, this means that almost every model in the Overseas line represents an opportunity to acquire a high-end sports watch at below retail prices. This buying guide is designed to arm you with the best objective market data to help you acquire your dream Vacheron piece. We've seen significant discounts across most models, with only a few exceptions like the popular Overseas self-winding model. However, it's important to note that these figures point to some deep marketing challenges for the brand. The consistent discounts across different collections, materials, and complications suggest that Vacheron Constantin may need to reassess its pricing strategy and marketing position. If you're interested in a more detailed analysis of these challenges, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to create a follow-up video exploring the business side of this horological puzzle. But let's keep in mind the most important thing. It's the watch journey that matters more than the destination. Whether you're drawn to the classic elegance of the Patrimony, the sporty sophistication of the Overseas, or the historical charm of the Historique, remember that each watch tells a story, your story. These discounts represent an opportunity to add a piece of horological artistry to your collection at a more accessible price point. But ultimately, the true value of a watch lies in the joy it brings you, the memories you create with it, and the appreciation you have for its craftsmanship. See you in the next video.